Everybody, welcome to Manufacturing Day 2021. We are here with Alex Seder of NOV Dayton. Alex is the general manager at NOV and is excited to share what his company does for you. So we will waste no time and turn it over to Alex.
All right, thanks for having me. Let me share my screen here. That comes through. Should be sharing now. You guys see it? Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. So Manufacturing Day. Usually we open up our doors and we have different high schools, different middle schools come in on this day and kind of see what we do and talk about careers that we have here. But the past 2 years haven't been able to do that, just given the whole COVID situation. So hoping, next year that changes and we can have students come back here again. Typically we order a bunch of pizzas and have a fun time chatting and showing you guys what we do. So I'll just be walking you through a few things. Why we're here today. So really start thinking about what you want to do after high school or even college. That's something that may seem far off, but really it's not. And in particular, I just want to share some experiences and insights into the manufacturing industry, which is a huge industry here in Dayton. So just a little bit about myself. Currently the general manager of NOV Dayton Chemineer, and I'll share in a little bit about what we do. I graduated from UD in 2010, so bachelor's and master's in engineering. And then I've started my career. I was an engineering intern. I did some R&D engineering, some design engineering, got into project management, went into sales, went into leading sales teams, went into operations leadership, and now I'm the general manager, which kind of combines all of them. Okay, so who are we? NOV Chemineer. So we were founded in 1952 by two really smart guys. They just started doing this stuff in their basement and then grew it into what it is today, which is a very large factory with 200 people. And so what we do, we make mixers that blend stuff. Okay, so here's basically what they are. All of this we design, engineer, and make right here at this plant. And so you have a motor, a gearbox, and then these fan blades that spin. And as they spin, they mix up product. So you can kind of see how it's working here on a small scale, but some of these are extremely large. Our largest units are 1,000 horsepower, can be anywhere from 5 to 6 stories tall, mixing some really cool things. So what do they make? For example, Reese's peanut butter cups. If you don't mix that peanut butter, when you go to bite into it, it's not going to taste the same every time. If you've had a Reese's peanut butter cup, that has gone through our mixing equipment to make sure that every time you bite into it, it tastes the exact same. Same with Twinkies, ice creams, yogurts. Our product is mixing tons of different food applications. You walk down an aisle at the grocery store and chances are our product is mixing something on that. Beverages, Coke, beer, bourbon, flavored waters, anything in between, all that has to be mixed when you're making it. Even cars, you don't really think about cars needing to be mixed, so to speak, but if you look at the paint, all that needs to be mixed. For example, all of Tesla's paint, when they're painting their cars, we mix all of that. They buy our equipment to mix that. Mixing rubber for the wheels, so that you have good tires, mixing plastics that go into various components on the cars. We do all that. And so some are really small. You can kind of see the comparison to the person here. Some of those are small and for, pharmaceutical applications. We have a lot of stuff that go into making medicines and things like that for pharmaceutical companies. And then you have some that are very large here that go into making plastics or go into making artificial sweeteners or corn syrup, whatever it is. It can be very small or very large and very complex. And so how we make them, I want to show you a quick video here.
Welcome to Chemineer. We produce industrial mixers, some small enough to fit in your hand, others so large they require a crane to install them. Today, I want to show you around and give you an idea of some of the jobs our company has to offer. A lot of you probably know that Ohio is considered the industrial capital of the US. But what some people don't realize is that manufacturing isn't just one kind of job. Here at Chemineer, we have people from many different walks of life doing all sorts of work with different skill sets, different education backgrounds, and different interests. In fact, even though we have many positions on the manufacturing side of things, about half of our jobs are engineering or technical. I'd like you to meet some of our workers, and who knows, some of the things they're doing might capture your interest.
Welcome to Chemineer's flagship plant located here in Dayton, Ohio. Here we have about 200,000 square feet and about 150,000 of that is dedicated to manufacturing. We have around 180 employees. Let's go take a shop tour. Welcome to Shaft Assembly. Michael, how about you tell us a little bit about what you're doing here?
Here at Shaft Assembly, this is where the turbines, where the hubs meet the blades and the shaft. I ensure that all parameters of the final assembly drawing are met here, and that everything is compatible as required by the customer.
Great. So you're making sure that once the customer gets it and assembles it, puts it into their tank, that everything is going to be okay and performs all right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great. So how long have you been here, Michael?
I've been here for 5 years with NOV Dayton. I've been down in Shaft Assembly for that entirety, and I also help out in trading and shipping. So
Great. So what do you like about it?
my favorite thing is that no job is the same. Everything is a little different, and all these designs get very unique, and I find that interesting.
Yep, absolutely. We have 6 welding stations and we run 2 shifts of welding. Here we're with one of our welders, Dave. So Dave, tell us a little about what you do and what your certifications are here.
Well, I'm the custom weld group leader. I usually weld on a daily basis, static mixers, gearboxes, turbines, shaft work, things like that. I started out as a production welder, just kept taking weld tests, kind of moved up through the ranks and
Went up the weld chain. Awesome.
As Dave pointed out, his job isn't about doing the same thing all the time. He welds all kinds of different equipment, but he also started at an entry-level position and worked his way up. That's really important because it shows you don't have to stay where you start out. Chemineer offers you the chance to challenge yourself, to learn while you're on the job earning an income, and to advance your career on a number of different paths.
So I'm here today with Tanya, and she makes these elements that go inside of our static mixer tubes. So Tanya, tell us a little bit about what you do here and how long you've been here and what you like about it.
I was here 13 years total. I've been in this department 5 years. I like doing this job because it's pretty much does itself. You just got to make sure that the elements measure up and enough parts are on it.
So what do you like about working here the most?
The people, I get along with all the people. I'm a friendly person.
That's always good. Thank you.
As Tanya showed, even assembly work has a lot of variety. Not only are there different kinds of assembly here at the plant, each one important to the finished product, but even in one position, the work often changes, keeping it fresh and interesting.
Art, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a tool and die maker by trade. Been in the trade for about 60 years, and I'm now inspector here. And like with this machine here, in all the years I've been in it, we've got to where we can check literally anything. We run extremely high quality parts here, and the way this machine checks it, if we have questions about it, we've got our engineers on hand, and everything comes out just fine. That makes our quality top notch.
The quality technicians are the ones who check that every piece we make is the best quality it can be. As Art told me, we invest in top quality machinery so that our product is the best on the market. This is an extremely important job because the quality assurance test is the final look over before the product goes to our customer. It ensures quality, safety, and value for those that need it most.
One thing that I love about Chemineer is that it's a very engineering focused product. Customer inputs are put into here. From there, we can create CFD to show exactly how the mixing is inside the tank. And then we can generate a 3D model. And then we can see exactly what everything looks like, verify all the parts are right.
This is our static mixer flow loop. It's where we do all of our research and development for our static mixer lines, both current and new. It utilizes a laser box and pointer laser induced fluorescence setup so that we can take a slice of the flow field and determine the coefficient of variation or the mixedness of the blending based off of the impeller technology.
Our engineers are the ones who design all our 3D models. They make sure everything about our product is up to spec and will be the best possible quality. But they're not just all doing this from behind a desk. As Nick showed you, our engineers work with the product. They test their designs, make them better. This is a thinking job and a hands-on job. Our company has a lot of expertise in this field. We make sure we have the best new equipment for our product, but we're also improving our processes. And it's our engineers who are at the forefront of that innovation. And it's worth noting that many of our engineers are promoted into sales, operation management, and even executive level positions over time. You heard from Dave in welding about how our workers can advance their careers here. Tanya told us that she's been with the company for 14 years. I think that's really important because it shows that this is a company where employees want to stay, where they have good reason to stay. We take care of our workers. We make sure you can grow your skills and get better positions inside the company. Our industry is growing, and we'd love to see you become a vital part of Ohio's economy with us. I've been talking a lot about how we have different kinds of jobs and how you can work your way up, but it might still sound like a job's just a job. So let me try to make this real. Our entry-level position can expect to make $19 an hour. That's about $40,000 a year. That's a decent wage. After all, manufacturing jobs make about 20% more income on average than other industries. But like I said, you don't have to stay at entry level. Our higher skilled technicians earn an average of $29 an hour or $60,000 a year. On a practical level, that means having a nice house and car, possibly even something fun, like a motorcycle or a boat on top of that. Our engineers that we hire right out of college can make $60,000 a year, or with several years of experience or other specialties, upwards of $80,000 a year and even higher. That's a big house and a lot of fun toys. Now, you might be thinking this is all far off, something to think about after college, but there's a reason I wanted to give you the tour today. We do have jobs for college graduates, but we also have positions that don't require a college degree. And more importantly, we have internships. These internships give you a special opportunity because you can develop your skill base now, earn money, and study for and earn industry-recognized certifications while you do it. These are certifications you can take anywhere and skills that will serve you throughout your life. I hope today has given you a better idea of what the manufacturing industry looks like and the opportunities available at Chemineer. For all of us here, thanks for joining us.
All right. Back to this. So how do we make them? Now that you know what they are, how do we actually make these? So it all starts with engineering, okay? And they're kind of seeing what the customer needs, what the customer is making, and then they take info from there. And it starts with the design engineer saying, here's what we will make. Now, there's different types of engineers, and this is something that may not always be promoted within schools just because, you know, they just think of it as engineering, but there's different disciplines of engineering, okay? So design engineering is saying, here's what we will make. And then your manufacturing engineer is saying, here's how we're gonna make it. And they're trying to figure out what is the best way to actually make what we need to do. And then you have your R&D, research and development engineer, saying, here's what we're gonna be making tomorrow. So, you know, think of the next generation cars that are coming out. Think of the next iPhone coming out. They have teams of research and development engineers working on those. And we have a few here as well. So the engineering wage, just to kind of think about, you know, what type of a lifestyle this is, you know, entry level out of college, $50,000, $60,000, that is a very comfortable wage. And then you become a little bit more experienced, you get into a certain field or you go into management, you know, 80,000 and above. It's a very comfortable living. And then typically you do need a 4-year college degree to be an engineer. We have had a few that have kind of come through the shop floor and started machining and wanted to get into more of the design. And they have. It just takes a little while to get into that. So machining, you saw a lot of that in the video. What machining is doing, it's turning basically bar stock or some solid piece of metal into whatever shape you want it to be. And you're doing that using a very large, very complex, very intricate piece of equipment. Sometimes it's less complex, sometimes it can be very complex. You know, this machine right here, we typically send our operators out to training on it. The machine itself is about $2 million, and we have a few of these here that are of that complexity. So it's pretty cool to work on it and to actually see it in action. And then our machinists, you know, you're making anywhere from $25 to $32 an hour. It's a very good career path to go down. And then welding. So you have some welders that, you know, just come right out of high school and want to weld stuff together. And welding, if you guys don't know, it's taking two pieces of metal, You're adding heat and you're joining them together and getting whatever shape you want out of that. But there's a lot more that goes into it than just that. I'm really oversimplifying it. So there are weld programs out there that you can go to right after high school. There's weld programs. Even in colleges, there's some programs that teach welding engineering. And if you get into the weld engineering, I mean, the salary and what you make just goes up from there, but you can still make a very comfortable living going in as a weld technician or a certified welder. It is a great trade to go into, and it's a trade that will continue to grow. So what else do we do here? So we have a whole bunch of people in IT, and they're fixing our computer issues, our hardware. We need that to survive. Purchasing, they're buying stuff all day. I'm oversimplifying that because there's over 200 parts on each mixer that we make. Some of them are purchased, some of them we make here internally. But it's really, when you get into purchasing, you have to figure out what do you want to buy, who do you want to buy it from, can you get the best price, is the quality good? Those are all factors that you have to take into play. Human resources are hiring people. Accounting, getting into finance, marketing, making our website look good, making sure our product looks great. Customer service is talking to customers all day. Safety manager, so they're improving machine safety, and we are an extremely safe plant. We have almost no injuries, no issues at all, and that speaks for most of the manufacturing industry nowadays. It's really come a very long way. Machine maintenance, so some guys don't necessarily want to make parts, but they want to fix the machines that we got, and they want to, think about like your car mechanic on steroids. That's what these guys are. They know how to fix and debug a whole bunch of stuff and enjoy putting stuff back together. Quality inspection, they're making sure everything is good and making sure all the specs are right for the customer so that when the customer fires it up, they don't have a problem. Field service, this is a really fun one. So we have a couple field service guys right now that they go to the customer and they install our equipment, okay? I have I think one guy in Brazil right now, maybe one guy in Puerto Rico. They go all over the world and install this stuff. And we pay for their flights, we pay for their hotel, we pay for their food at restaurants while they're out. We pay for the whole thing. So basically you get to travel the world for free. A lot of the younger folks that come in like to go into that just for that reason. And then you get to go into some pretty cool places and actually see the stuff get installed and see it running. And then management, it is the least fun, the most stressed, but it pays the most. If that's what motivates you and you enjoy leading people, then that's definitely the route to go. Without all of these, you can't make these. So outside of Chemineer here in Dayton, Ohio, so we have over 2,500 manufacturing companies in Dayton, which really is a lot. We are a manufacturing hub for sure. Over 125,000 people in Dayton work in manufacturing. And on average, manufacturing workers get paid 20% more than other industries. Just something to think about. So besides the pay, the benefits, the high demand, why go into manufacturing or consider going into manufacturing? I'll break it down like this. You can truly make a difference while having fun. And I'll use this example. So everyone knows the Wright brothers and the Wright Flyer. They put together this rickety flyer back in 1903, and it took one person and they flew about less than a mile, which was great because back in the day, this is when they didn't have cars. Electricity wasn't really prevalent everywhere. So this was like state of the art, right? Getting one person 1 mile in the air. Go forward just 100 years. And here's what you got. You have the Airbus A380. So over 20 companies here in Dayton actually help design, build, and supply parts for this aircraft. It holds 525 people. It flies 9,000 miles each flight. And there's over 200 in the sky at any time. That was before COVID. Now you probably just have 50 or 100, but point is they're still there. So if you were to go back then in 1903 and tell them, hey, 100 years from now, instead of just going 1 mile, you'll be able to go 9,000 miles. And instead of just having one person on it, we'll be able to fit 525. They're probably going to look at you like you're absolutely crazy, right? So that was then. Fast forward 100 years. The future aircraft will partly be designed, developed, and manufactured here in Dayton. And a lot of young minds, maybe some of you in the room right now will be a part of that. I have no idea what that looks like. I have no idea how far that can go. But we will find out. I'm sure it's going to be pretty cool. And so what else came from Dayton? Let's just look at some of these few things. So the pop tab. So every time you crack open a pop, you grab that little tab and open it. Back in the day, like back in 1930, you had to actually pop a hole in it before you drink it, which is not fun. Window air conditioning units, those things are awesome. Space ice cream. The Chemineer impeller, it's my personal favorite, obviously. I'm biased towards it. Backpack parachutes, Airstream trailers. I don't know if you guys have seen these on the highway, but they're really cool inside, and they're made just north of town here. Jet engines. So GE has an absolute massive plant down in northern Cincinnati where they make all the jet engines, some of them for military aircraft and fighter jets, some of those for passenger planes that many of you have flown on. And then Honda. Honda has a ton of different plants here in Ohio. They have a bunch of research facilities, test tracks. They're really developing their next generation of vehicles right here in Ohio. So when you see the next generation car come out, there's been a lot of people that graduated from UD, from Wright State, and that came from a lot of our high schools in Dayton that are working on the stuff that you'll see on the road tomorrow. So that's just my brief presentation on this. You know, I would certainly encourage every one of you to look and see what else is out there and to go into manufacturing. If you get enjoyment out of seeing the result of your work and actually seeing your product, this is the type of career field to go into. So with that, I'll turn over any questions, anything that you guys want to cover more in depth. I'm here to answer any of that.
If anybody does have any questions, they want to go ahead and type in the chat box. I will get those over to Alex. One of the questions for Alex was, do you come out to schools for presentations? And I can kind of field that one, but Alex, you can kind of back me up too. But DRMA, as part of our workforce initiatives, we go to schools and do power lunches. So DRMA can arrange that with you, where we have some of our members, just like Alex, who would kind of come out and kind of set up a booth usually during lunch hour, but it's kind of up to you when we come. But yeah, then they can talk to students about careers in manufacturing. Absolutely.
And we are still doing those. It just depends on, you know, the school and the situation, but we will find people to come out to you and talk to you, and you know, we can have that dialogue one-on-one. We can also bring some pretty cool toys that people like to see and check out.
And Loveland Middle School said the LMS, or the Loveland Middle School robotics class, built turbines yesterday, they said.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is
Very
awesome.
cool.
Turbines are cool, and you're going to be seeing more and more of them because of wind energy. I mean, my company, National Oil Warco, we're the #1 producer of oil rigs, which is ironic because we make turbines here, but we have been getting more and more into wind energy because the same equipment you need to make oil rigs, you need to install these giant wind turbines offshore, and we do all that as well. Pretty cool.
All right, well, if there's no other questions, we'll go ahead and wrap it up for the day. Thank you guys all for joining us. Thank you, Alex, for sharing with everybody. If anybody has questions about Manufacturing Day or Careers in Manufacturing Day, please reach out to Kayla and the DRMA office anytime. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you.